Hey my YouTubies, it's been a hot minute since we last saw each other, right? I hope you are all being responsible and staying home. If you haven't watched my acrylic space painting tutorial, please take a look. I'm extremely thankful for the people who have watched that video. I didn't expect it to help so many people, even if it was just a little bit with their creativity. Thank you very much. Y'all deserve some stars. This drives me into the idea of making a cosmic series where we will go more in depth into how to make nebulas, stars, planets, you name it, whatever is out there in space, aliens if you will. Leave your intergalactic ideas in the comment section below and I'll make a video about it. We are all at home anyways, so might as well create something together. Anyways, let's skip over the excuses of where I've been and let's just get right into it, shall we? Today we're going to need some paintbrushes, a paint palette, your cup for water, a canvas, black, like my soul, or white, and you can paint it black, whichever works for you. And we're going to use these disposable towels to clean our brushes with. Now you can get these at the hardware stores. They're called car cleaning towels. They're very useful because you can just rip it, like so, and use for multiple brush cleans. And a whole lot of paint. Actually just some paint. You got green, blue, yellow, some brown, white for the stars, black scrap paper so your workspace doesn't get too messy. And don't forget our favorite, the toothbrush. One thing that helps me a lot is a reference photo for Earth. So I'm gonna pick this one because I like the look of it, so why not? Next we're gonna find an object that has a circumference of a circle. This will be the outline of our Earth. I don't recommend toilet paper though. I'm gonna use the bottom of this CD holder. Okay, looks like we got everything we need, so let's get started! Now we have our black canvas. What we're going to do, we're going to grab our circular object and place it on the canvas. Now I recommend somewhere not right in the middle, but maybe a little bit higher up. This will create a more interesting look and draw the eye in more. Now we're going to use some blue paint and we're going to trace around the object. Like so, and take it off. We can clean the excess blue of the earth off by using some black, and that's the outline of our earth. Since the majority of earth is made out of water, let's just go ahead and paint earth blue. Let's give it a few minutes to dry. While we wait, this video is sponsored, but no, actually I'm not sponsored. I'm gonna start with some yellow because it's a light color. Here's a tip, if you use lighter colors, it's easier to fix than darker colors. And here's a bit of the US. A bit of Europe is peeking out here. I'm gonna mix some yellow with some green. Start with the simple shapes and then go into detail at the very end. Otherwise, if you start with the details right away and then you find out you make some errors, it's harder to change up and all that time has gone to waste. So what is our Earth missing now? Looks like we need some clouds in there. We can do that a bit later. That could be the last point. But it seems very flat, doesn't it? So what you want to do is mix in a bit more colors together, put in a little bit of darker greens and darker blues. This will make it more three-dimensional and more realistic if that's what you're going for. And also to make it look more interesting than just a 2D painting. I'm gonna be using Hooker's green, haha, very funny. But it is actually a very nice green color, not too saturated and also bright enough, and you can see that it's not blending as much, so you can add in a little more lighter green and then mix in with the darker green. And even adding a bit of more yellow will help brighten up the colors. So don't be afraid to keep mixing in more colors to make it look less flat. If you feel like it's becoming too muddy, wait for it to dry a bit and then go on ahead and layer. Continue layering. When your water gets too dirty like this, it's a good idea to go rinse it out and get a new cup of water. So the water looks a bit flat. Let's add in some darker blues to it. I'm using primary blue, and you can also add in a darker one. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this. Phthalizo-cyanin blue. This kind of blue. So I'm gonna put in the primary blue first on the edges of the land. And sometimes the paint can be thin, so it's good to actually glob on a bit more and just spread it out with your paintbrush like so. Just make sure you're not globbing too much on and then leaving it to dry. At this point, I'm not even looking at my reference photo. I'm just kind of going with how I feel with this earth, and you can also do that as well. Make earth your own earth. That's why I call this video how to paint an earth and not the earth. Aha! See what I did there? I also added in some unpronounceable blue to this. So by now the greens and yellows of the land have been dry, a little bit. Kind of. Then we can add in a bit of brown. Burnt umber. I can mix with a little bit of yellow. I can do same thing as before, outline on the outside here, but only on the left side of this United States of America. And then I'm gonna add a little bit at the bottom right side of South America. I feel like this earth needs a little more darker blue, so I'm actually gonna add a bit of black to the blue. At this point, it's starting to finish off. You can add in a little more details, like more land. Maybe here, some islands, little pieces of land. And don't forget to add in more brown to this again, because we are living on Earth, right? We have dirt. Lots of it. Finally, we can add in a bit of clouds. So before you add in the clouds, now is a good time to wash your brushes and rinse your cup to add in the whites. I'm going to be using a thinner brush for this because the clouds are going to be more detailed. So I'm just going to do wispy movements and motion of the brush to make it look more like clouds. You don't want it to look too hard, then you can't get the texture of the clouds right, because clouds are basically like cotton, very soft. One way to make it soft is add a bit of water to your brush, mix it in with the white, so then it comes a little bit watery. So I'm gonna put the clouds bit up here, a little here, and it's gonna be on top of the land because it's just everywhere. We're right here. So this is how my finished earth looks like. This is where the toothbrush comes in. Yay! Make sure you have some clean white. Okay, we're going to use our toothbrush and dab all over like so, and just start flicking like crazy onto the canvas. Remember, you can use your hand as a shield if you want, and then spray on the sides, all over. It's infinite. We're gonna put some individual stars here and there, and then add yellow stars, and even flick some yellow stars using the toothbrush. And now we have our finished piece, Earth. You have done it! Woohoo! Hey, if you make an Earth, why don't you tag me on Instagram at @MeiShiArt. I would love to see your creations. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to ask me and I'll help you out as much as I can. Until the next space adventure, thanks for tuning in. Stay colorful.